Hi YouTube. The class is over, but I felt like I should continue these videos just in case there was anyone who was watching, maybe to pick up some tips and tricks or just some basic info on Unreal. Obviously, I'm not the best source for information on Unreal, but there are some things that uh, I've done that I couldn't find tutorials on online, so here we go. Just show you where we're at with the project so far. A lot of the things that I was talking about doing on the last update, such as the camera swap, I've got that done. Depending on which direction you want to swap, that's the direction the widget I have set up displays the animation. And the walls, as far as that goes, I decided to use an easy option and just create the walls out of planes, which I don't know how well that would go on a large scale like game design type of thing, but it works for now. And that's interesting. It looks like my box for them detecting where to walk to get to me is just a little smaller than the actual area of the game. So that's what I ended up doing for those. And then another thing I was wanting to do was have it where the aimer actually controlled where the camera was. So whichever direction you move your crosshairs, the camera actually catches up to you. It's one of the games I was thinking about when I did that was Metroid Prime. That's probably the best example I can think of where the camera kind of follows the actual reticle instead of the other way around. I set up a timer. I think for this game it's just going to be like a time attack where you're fighting enemies. Sort of a basic idea. I know there's a lot of tutorials out there on how to do it, so I figured that would be the best way to learn is to actually finish a project, and that seems to be the most common type of tutorial that you can find online. It's just like a time attack or kill so many enemies to get to the end of the game kind of setup. So I haven't really worked on the level design or anything like that, clearly, but I've just basically been trying to get all the kinks ironed out on the camera system and swapping cameras, the reticle, sound effects, just the whole works. The timer itself is probably going to be an issue because I'm trying to capture the I guess centiseconds, and that is actually more complicated than I thought. I might have to mess with more than just the delay to get that to function correctly because it ties in with frame rate and such. So I think that's about it. I guess I could show you some of the blueprints I did just to give you an idea on how I got some of this stuff to work, such as the camera actually following the object, which I still need to work on because right now it is just a plane that I am using with a sprite image attached to it. But in the future, I would like it to be more functional like a widget. So I don't know, I might have to use like a 3D widget is what I'm thinking might be the answer to that. And then, so like whenever I hover over an enemy, it will change color or animate in some way so that you can tell when you're actually aiming at an enemy. Yeah, so let's go ahead and do that. I'll jump out here. Blueprints real quick. So I don't know. Let's see. Okay, so this is the timer I have now, which is set up to calculate off of the delay. But and in doing some research, it looks like the delay might be a little iffy if you go below like a second, because then it starts going off of your frame rate. So I noticed right away that I had to adjust some things. Even going out of the blueprint and starting the game, the timer was way different. It was way faster. So I'll have to mess with that. If I go into, actually let's go into the blueprints of my character here, and you can see how I set up that delay for the camera. Basically all I did was, you've got the actual camera that is your viewport, and that is controlled here with this camera. So this is the camera that you're seeing out of, and on the arm, if you go over here, you can enable camera lag right there, and I have it set up to 10, And then I have a separate camera arm that is attached to a fake camera, which is where I have my muzzle reference, which you probably can't even see it here, but it is a tiny, tiny dot that I just have extremely close to the player's view. Oh, you kind of got a glimpse of it. So it's just very close to the player's view, and that dot is actually their crosshair. And so I just have the delay right here, the lag, set higher so that it lags less. So whenever you move the little crosshair, it goes before the camera. And again, I might have to adjust that because I don't think I can really do anything with that beyond that. There's a lot of that. That. And what else? What else? So there was a lot of little things I did. And like I said, I went in maps. Like I said, I just basically deleted the walls that came with the third-person map and swapped those out for planes. And I realized that the planes are invisible on one side, which, I mean, I might not just use planes, but basically if I could put an invisible texture on one side, a no draw, then I should be fine, I think. And that will be the way, rather than going through the methods of making where the player can be seen through the walls and such. I mean, eventually I would like to be able to do that, but to get this game finished, I think I'm just going to use planes versus, solid walls so that you can see through on the other side. And I think that's about it. Oh, I totally forgot. I made a widget for ammo, which I will show off right now. You run up here, and we grab this little box of ammo here. You got a little widget that shows you grab the ammo, and if you look down at the counter, we actually raised our ammo count. So now we're at 75. So yeah, just working with widgets. It seems like you can do a lot with widgets. Another thing that I was having a lot of trouble with was trying to get the cameras to swap, and I just, made a basic widget and animated it so that it would flash a black screen, using whatever program you want to create that. You just make yourself a black box and fade the sides, and you can get the same effect. So anyways, thanks for tuning in.